Hey everybody, it's me, it's Lenora from It's a New Dawn. Today's a little bit different. And as you can see, everybody, I've been trying out like my lights and glasses, and I don't wear prescription glasses, but I have three different pair of the blue light blocker glasses because I am on the computer, the laptop a lot now, and the phone, and I want to protect my eyes. That's actually going to be one of my health and wellness tidbits, probably, about the blue light blockers. Yeah, you can go either way. People say they don't do anything, some say they do, but that's just true of everything. Anyway, today is the health and wellness tidbit portion of my podcast, but I figured I wanted to try something different. I actually put a little, I guess, a little ad on Facebook, and specifically about this part of the podcast. And my first guest, Thomas Mooneagle, reached out to me, and we're going to find out about his health and wellness tidbit. But yeah, I thought maybe I'd try something different and start bringing in other people. So if any of you out there have a health and wellness tidbit that you'd like to share, everybody knows my Google number is in the links below, and also my website, my email. You can definitely get in touch with me. Okay. You can even comment on one of the videos. So anyway, I'm going to introduce Thomas Mooneagle. How beautiful is that name? Okay. He is a shamanic practitioner, an artist and author, Reiki master and teacher. He is a Sifu? How do you say
Sifu.
that?
Sifu.
Sifu, okay, of Southern, and I guess you'll explain to me what that
Yeah.
is. Southern Chinese Tai Chi. His journey started with interest in divination. Say the word.
Divination.
You know what? And I got stuck on a word the other day, and I'm like trying to get it out of my mouth, and I couldn't. Thank you. Then progressed into various forms of meditation. This is me, guys. You guys know. While still in his teens, he began studying and practicing Tai Chi. He studied various esoteric practices and holistic approaches to self-empowerment. Currently, he's working towards a certification in Qigong. Say it.
Qigong.
Qigong. I always say that wrong too. He has two YouTube channels, one focused on Tai Chi and Qigong, and the other focused on spiritual healing. He's the author of the book, Drumming Down the Runes. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay, Walking the 24 Roads. I'm curious to find out what that's about. And he is the creator of meditation album Chords of Light. I'm sorry I messed that up so bad.
That's all right.
But it's nice you're here to correct me. Anyway, so I'm going to try to make the health and wellness tidbit part of the podcast a little bit shorter, but I'm not going to stress out about it either. So we're just going to go with the flow, right, Thomas?
Yeah.
Take it away, Thomas.
Well, thanks for having me on, Laura.
You're welcome.
So I know we talked a lot privately about, movement practices and body practices. With your practice of yin yoga and restorative yoga, which I like. I've taken a class in that before, and it was wonderful. And just what I needed at the time. I've been practicing Tai Chi since 1997.
Okay, so 20. I know it's 23 years.
Yeah,
my daughter was born in that year.
So I took it as a college course, my first year in college, and then I continued privately for like 6.5 years with my teacher. And at the end of that, he said, "You're a Sifu now. Here, teach this class for me." And of course, I was a terrible teacher when I started.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Yeah, but
fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Well, it was just. Well, I mean, teaching is a totally different skill set than practice.
It is, but I don't know. My teacher always said, I was so nervous. I was actually trained in prana yoga, and of course, we had to teach a class, and I was so nervous. But his words about approaching the class with love just changed my whole outlook on it. It was like,
Right.
I'm just going to teach with love. And that's how what I've been doing ever since is just no matter how nervous, I always get like little butterflies and you know, but teaching from my heart and from pure love has always saved me.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think that that's important. I think to know why, you're doing what you're doing. And for me, it's service. Um, Most of my students are seniors, or they've been involved in Live Strong, which is a program that the YMCA puts out for people who are going through cancer treatment or family members of them, and they get like a free 3-month membership, and their program's directed towards you know health and wellness for people that are going through chemo or radiation, and it's a wonderful program. And I've been really blessed to be able to connect with that kind of students.
Mhm.
And I think that really changes kind of how you teach, when you encounter people, that it's not just an exercise, it's not just something, it's something that is really improving their quality of life. And for me, that there is a martial aspect to Tai Chi, but I've never really focused on that. I've always focused on the wellness aspect, the meditative aspect, the restorative aspect. And, one of the main things is working with people's balance, because, as we get older, if we don't train our balance, we tend to lose it.
Mhm.
So it's just like everything else, that which you don't use and focus on just sort of diminishes.
Mhm.
And it's really easy to overlook a lot of things like deep breaths. But I don't know about you, but in the past few months, I can tell I've tightened up in my chest, and
Mhm.
how deep I'm breathing more shallowly than I
Yeah. I
would.
mean,
And
we're taping this. I'll have it out not real long, but in the middle of COVID.
right.
So, yeah. So it's very stressful and
So
I talk about that all the time, the breath, and I'm very aware of it. So
right,
not everybody is, but I've been practicing, I don't know, over 16 years. And I always come back and like I'm very conscious of it. But you look around, just
right.
like you said, you can see people
Mhm,
are tense and breathing from the top of their chest. And
mhm.
yeah,
Oh, and
yeah.
even tight. And so one of I always, what I tell my classes all the time are, I was like, come on, slow down, deep breaths. If you're not marrying your movements to the breath, you're just doing very slow calisthenics. Not that there's
Like
anything
that.
wrong with that, but we're trying to bring our awareness into our bodies, because we tend to live a lot of times in the Western world from here up,
Hmm.
from the neck up.
Hmm.
And really, our awareness is distributed throughout the body, and works better when we're completely in the body. And so I say we live from here up, but sometimes we're not even here. Sometimes we're out here, you
Hmm.
know, like a little balloon,
So
and
true.
very disconnected. And for me, it's all about bringing intention to movement, and marrying that with the breath, um,
Hmm.
using the breath to deepen your awareness in a movement. And what you'll find is that a lot of times you'll realize things you're doing with your body that you didn't know that you were doing. um,
Hmm.
Things that might be uncomfortable or might be slightly off balance. And because of this, slow practice and retraining awareness to be present, you start to realize, oh, that's not the best move for me. Or
Hmm.
I'm overextending here, or I'm tweaking my knee here, or you're doing all sorts of things, or I'm slumped.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Right.
aligned. So I focus a lot on alignment. I focus a lot on being aware and breath, and right now I'm streaming classes through a Facebook group with a local Jewish community center. They've been so great to set that up for me so that my students can continue.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I don't see any of my students when I'm doing that. So I'm
Yeah.
teaching to this webcam.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
It's definitely changed my practice, because I'm very used to the interaction, because a lot of stuff is driven, by what the students need. I used to write out very detailed lesson plans. I don't know if you did this when you started teaching.
No,
No?
I always just came to the mat, meditated before I taught, and just went with my heart.
Yeah. Well, I've gotten to that. I mean, I had kind of a structure to start with.
Not to say that that's right. I'm not,
Right. Well,
I'm
no.
not, yeah,
Well,
it was just, I got to like, as a matter of fact, people used to say to me, you're much better when you're not looking at, like when I was in teacher training, I
mhm.
was like much better when I'm not focused on my notes. And it's just, and you know what? It's never like, just like this podcast. I mean, I don't know. This lighting doesn't look that great. I'm gonna look back at it and I'm gonna be like, oh no, I gotta fix it again or do something different. But that's how you learn,
Yeah.
so
I think, starting for me, it was an insecurity, which is why I was writing so many, notes. And then you get a student come in and they just couldn't do what I had written down.
hmm
And so over, period of a couple of years, I just started having a general kind of idea of what we're working on. And then I'd see, how people are doing, and I would just adapt, because,
hmm
the pace that you think you're going to get is not going to be the pace for everybody.
hmm
And, you know, depending on what people will ask me or questions or where they're struggling would be how I would direct the class. And so now I don't have that kind of feedback unless they leave comments. And,
yeah.
but I've done it. I've been teaching now for about 15 years. So often at first with friends, then with small groups, then community centers and wellness centers and gyms. And so now I kind of just, I have a sense. I'm like, I'll be in the middle of a move. I'll be, just in front of my webcam. I'll be like, relax your shoulders.
Yeah, you're more aware. Right, 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 right.
Because I know they're
Sure.
tensing it right now, and I can tell a few of my students are probably, can you see me?
Yeah. No, you know what? I think of that too. Like when I'm talking through restorative yoga, and I won't say a lot, but I'll know exactly when I've been told, like, it's like you're in my mind. Like I'll say,
Mhm,
notice if you're clenching your jaw. We do it
mhm.
so much.
Yep.
Let your tongue, right, let your tongue soften. Notice any tension in your face when we're in the pose.
Mhm.
Um, but it's always at the right, because I deal with that,
Right.
all the
Yeah.
time. And I'll go through that centering and grounding and I'm sitting up straight, but not rigid. But notice if you're slumping, because the prana can't flow through your body the same if your shoulders are slumped over. And I'll do the same thing. It's like
Mhm.
you just being aware, it's being very conscious. And you get that way by practice, like everything else,
Yes. Yeah.
practice,
That
practice, practice.
practice is important, and I've had people come up to me, it's like, hey, are you teaching any more classes this week? Because they want to come to like a class every day. And I'm like, no, I only have these classes. I said, you can practice at home. And they're like, no, I don't like doing that. I just want to come to class.
Is it Tai Chi? Tai Chi?
Yeah, Tai Chi.
Yeah, well,
And
it's community. It's
it
community and
is.
support. A lot of people need that.
It is. I just, for me, it's like, yeah, but you're going to get your benefit in your home practice, your, daily practice. And so instead of doing an hour a day, I'm like, do 15 minutes a day.
Now,
Uh,
is this what you want to talk about as far as
yeah,
what is the main thing you want to talk about as far as this health and wellness, like quote unquote tidbit? What is it you want to tell my audience and
sure.
listeners? And everything that you do so many great things. What
I,
is like, yeah, what is the like if you had
I
to
would,
pinpoint one of these things?
yeah, I think having a daily practice um, is really key, of some sort of mind body practice.
And what could that be? What can they
That
give
could
some
be yoga.
examples?
That could be yoga. That could be intentional walking. That could be Tai Chi or Qigong, or any kind of, really where they're really putting their awareness into their body and they're giving themselves space for things to move.
Mm-hmm.
And because one of the things that happens, and I know this happens in yoga too, is I'll be practicing a form or a Qigong exercise and I'll just feel emotion just start to flow through the
Mm-hmm.
body. And it might be grief, it might be fear, it might be anything. It might be peace, yay when it's peace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
But, the body, we tend to put that separation between the body and the mind, but, our emotions are visceral, they're hormonal, and that goes throughout the entire structure of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so by bringing our awareness back into the body, and moving with intention, it allows some of that stuff that's just been kind of squinched up in one little organ over here or down here by this joint to start to move and flow and to be experienced and released.
Mm-hmm.
Half the pain is sometimes the repression of what we're feeling and the
Mm-hmm.
resistance to it. And I understand there's times where we have to like just muscle through and get through something and buckle down, but then we also need to give ourselves and our bodies time to feel what they're feeling.
Yes. Amen.
So that's why I think it's really important to have some sort of movement practice. Like, dance is good too. So
Yeah. When you say, you said, and I recommend this to all my clients, walking, but you said a word in front of that.
intentional. Yeah.
Yes. Now, the walking that I would like to see people do sometimes or once in a while is without any distraction at all.
Yeah.
Like no earbuds, nothing. Just go out and feel your feet to the ground, listen to your feet graveling on the ground, the birds, the trees rustling, notice the trees, notice the leaves falling off the trees. And I have to be honest, I'm in my earbuds because that's when I do my listen to the podcast I recorded or I listen to my
Mhm.
podcast. But I also have a mindful practice. I also meditate in silence, but I'm not saying everybody needs to do that. But it's a huge part of my life is being mindful, is having a meditation with no other distractions, nothing in my ears. So yes, I think walking can be great. But is that what you mean by not having anything in your ears? Or you're just meaning,
I
are you
do.
meaning?
I mean, because I see so many people walking around with their head in their phones, and
Mm.
I have like a Bluetooth. So a lot of times when I'm walking my dog, I will call a friend and catch up.
Right. And that's what I'm
And
saying with me, but go ahead.
but I also sometimes go out without a phone. Imagine that.
Hmm.
People go into panic. Oh my God, I left my phone at the house.
Hmm.
And for anybody over a certain age, well, yeah, that's how it was for for our whole lives
Yeah.
until a certain point where cell
Well,
phones
how old are
became.
you? You look really young. I mean,
I'm 42.
yeah, I mean, you look very young, but like I said, and you are young, 42 is young, but being I'll be 56 in a couple weeks, November 1st. But when we had the 5 children, when they were young, there wasn't phones, there wasn't anything.
Yeah.
So that bothers me now. Now I'm addicted to my phone. I admit it, guys. I am, and I hate it, but it's the reality of what I'm doing now. It's everything I do is my phone. So, I always say to my husband, like, I'm turning my phone off, like I'm turning my phone off tonight. Like I go to bed and my stuff is gone and off, which is a, a good thing. It should be more than that. But we didn't have phones when the kids were little. And if I'm out taking a walk, we waited till we got home and heard a message on the thing. I mean, our kids are all living and they're good, you
Yeah.
know. Crazy. It's just the way the world is now, and it's the way it's going to be, and it's evolving. I know all that, but It's crazy how much we rely on the phones, me
Yeah.
included. It's scary.
Yeah, I agree. But, you know, my phone is now my camera for when I, you know, film Tai Chi videos. And I've got a little
Yeah,
stand, take it out on a
everything.
tripod, go out into the
It's a
park or the library.
podcast. I'm on my
Yeah.
phone now.
Yeah, I use my laptop more because I do a lot of editing. So
I
that's
don't
hard
I
to do
don't
on
do
a
a lot of
phone.
editing, you guys. You know that. I'm not good at that.
For a lot of my other, I like
So,
title screens.
people who don't know Tai Chi, I
Hmm.
mean, chi is energy, but let's I want you to
Yeah.
tell everybody what Tai Chi is.
Well, Tai Chi it originated as a Taoist martial art. So, you know, and ancient China, they had the Taoist philosophers, and they were also uh, sages and healers and doctors, and you know, but they were also very persecuted because they were not sort of a follow along bunch. And you know, this is the time of imperial China, imperial reign, and you wanted, you know, servants, not masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with Taoism, it was all about, you know, the Tao means the way, or the way of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really all about understanding the energies of nature and harmonizing with that. Uh, and to do, you know, one of the main things in Tai Chi is this idea of Wu Wei, which is effortless action.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's really, I tell people it takes a lot of effort to get to the place of effortless action. It takes a lot of practice.
Yes. Yes.
So
Just
it's
like it
count.
just like it takes a lot of practice for somebody to be okay doing restorative yoga. I'm sorry I keep bringing it up, but
No, I mean that they're
it's
related.
so uncomfortable for to be flowing and easy and
Right.
calm, you know? It's not normal anymore, which
No,
is why we
and
need it.
yeah. And you know, it's really, you know, Tai Chi is kind of, there's a fusion of kind of Qigong and the martial arts in it. And what Qigong is, because I brought it
Yeah,
up
because I was
several
going to
times.
say, explain
Okay.
that. Yes.
So, you know, the term Kung Fu is like skill built through hard work. So Qigong is basically, I define as working with your Qi. So building your
Energy.
Qi. Hmm.
Your
And your
energy.
Qi is like prana, or what's another good, or Gong, or there's a whole bunch, odic forces. There's a lot of different names for it and a lot of different traditions. But it's the inner vitality of the body. It's, you know, what powers us, what
Mm-hmm.
makes us alive. Um, and the way the Taoists designed their system was that they're really clever, because like they would teach people, and wanted to be healthier, they just wanted to be more successful, it would do that for them.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people they knew would come into it, and they would want to go further. They'd want to, you know, seek deeper. And so, but it laid that groundwork. But if you never went further than just laying the groundwork, you had a healthier, better life.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, some practices are built around like, well, we want you to master things, right? We want to build towards mastery. So you don't really get the benefits until you go through the whole system. There are some
Right.
systems that are built that way. And
Mm-hmm.
that's fine if you are at the outset going for mastery for a certain thing. But this is built more to be helpful. And then there's a door there if you want to walk through it,
I like that.
and go deeper. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't, no
You
problem.
don't.
You
Right.
don't walk through it, but you know, you're healthier, you know, you more balanced, and that's good, you know. So
You're not making it stressful, which is nice.
no, I mean, and you know, I offer, you know, when I always end my classes with like a little seated qigong meditation at the end. Some people don't like it, some people get up and leave before then,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And some people love it and want to go deeper, and some people it's just nice to sit at the end of the practice. Let's be,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because
Right.
I have them on their feet the whole time. So
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I really enjoyed this talk, and
Yeah.
I think our main focus was Tai Chi and
Mhm.
your energy. I want you to, with my regular podcast, I ask the guests to leave us with some parting words, wise words of wisdom, anything that they want to share. I'd like to do that, I guess, with a little twist. Just leave whatever health and wellness short and little tidbit you
Sure.
want to emphasize. And that is actually what I put on my TikTok to tell everybody about you and that you're on. So,
Sure. Okay. Well, let's do a
okay.
little quick, very quick breathing
Oh, okay.
exercise. Very quick,
I always
slow
like,
breathing. Oh, let's
I
put it
always,
that way.
always like that.
So if you're if you're sitting, make sure your feet are flat on the floor.
Okay.
And, I'd say about shoulder width apart. You want to get, that nice. And then align your pelvis, your sternum, and your forehead. Those are your three dantians, your three centers where the energy pools in the body. There are other points, but those are some of the main refinement points in the traditional Chinese medicine system. And so as you breathe, you want to breathe in through the nose and down into the lower abdomen, into, filling up the lungs from the bottom all the way up to the top of the chest. And then slowly release the air from the mouth. And if you're finding that you're speeding through, you can't relax, you can add sound, which in Qigong is So again, inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And just, a moment or two of that, it can really change the focus of your consciousness. So it can be very simple.
I love it. We don't have to make things complicated.
No, no.
No. Thomas, thank you so, so much for that. That was beautiful.
Thank you for
Love it.
having me.
And where can people get in? I do have your website.
Yeah,
If they
there are
go to,
links.
okay, yeah. So I'll put the website on the
Yeah,
show notes.
and you go up if you
And
go to About Me on there, or it'll have like at the bottom and I'll have all my links to everything. So like both my
I love
YouTube
it.
channels, my Patreon, everything you can think of.
This makes it very easy for me. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
doing that. Because your show notes, the one website has everything.
Yep.
Hang out, guys. All my information will be in the links below. My Google number, if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to come on the show and be on the regular podcast or this little health and wellness tidbit segment, let me know what ideas you have. 609-429-4058. Buy the Roar Bars, you guys. I talk about them every single time. That affiliate link is below. Please buy from the affiliate link because it helps me a little bit, helps them. They give 10% of all their net proceeds to feed the hungry children worldwide. A little bit about the Roar Bar, if you don't know already. They are protein packed. They are vegan, but they fit every diet. They're the only packaged good I eat. They do not sponsor me, but I am an ambassador and an affiliate of the company. No artificial sweeteners. They're put together by coconut oil, sweetened with coconut nectar and blackstrap molasses, a little bit of Himalaya salt, and I just love them. You guys go to their website, go on the affiliate link, just check them out. You're going to see what I'm talking about. I wouldn't support them if I didn't believe in them 100%. That's it. On that note, everybody have a wonderful and blessed day, evening, morning, whatever it is in your neck of the woods. Thomas, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.